We're back. Morse Code Podcast, episode 152. I was just told off air. Back off a brief hiatus. Well, I'm back off a brief hiatus. You were here earlier this week with a couple good friends of the program, Cash, Fiend, and Hurricane, talking all sorts of nonsense. Did you have a good time doing that?
Yeah, it was interesting talking about, like, I don't know, just another random team, not in New England.
America's team, some would argue.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. They're playing this weekend.
Heard
Big
that.
game this weekend. That'll be a good game. Niners and Cowboys. That's like an old school throwback type of game. I think I heard you guys talking. Kind of takes me back to the mid 90s when I was just a boy.
Yeah, if things go as planned.
That's literally how it should go this weekend. No, are they playing each other?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Of course, as always, anytime we get on this program, it's brought to you by our friends at Cold River Vodka, the spirit of Maine. Cold River Vodka, gin. Those are only two of the things they sell. They sell thousands of other things, but we're only contractually obligated to mention the vodka and the gin.
Do they only come in bottles?
Again, we're only contractually obligated to promote the bottles.
Okay.
I can't say on air what else you might be able to buy them in.
So no confirmation either way on boxes.
Cannot confirm or deny. Just like pour it in your hand to go. Like Oliver Twist. But no, check our friends out. It's at Cold River Vodka on Instagram and Twitter and probably everywhere else. And if you live local in Maine, go check them out in Freeport. It's a good time. Good way to kill an afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Or a year.
Depending on what you have going on, yeah. It could be a whole year. I'd start with a day, a couple hours, and then go from there.
See how you like it.
Also, we have some hoodies and Crewnecks on sale.
Hell yeah.
Interesting development. Not sure if I really enjoy this, but it's something that we were pressured to do. We did it. And I think they're retailing it like $500, but they're on sale right now for like 30 something. So before they go back to full price, check it out. Put a link. Maybe if you could do this, Soapy, earn your keep around here, put a link right under the YouTube video. Make it easier for our listeners or viewers. Is that feasible?
That's an interesting idea.
Okay. If you need the link, just reach out to me. Soapy, if you're listening for some reason, is like configuring a bunch of wires behind him, trying to do this. But anyway, let's get back to business. It is good to be back. I had a brief health and safety protocol thing going on. So Commissioner Silver said I wasn't allowed to put on the headset, but I can today. And today,
that's why we had to call guys up from the G League.
That was tough. A couple tough 10 days we had to hand out.
Those are hardship contracts. Dude,
I swear they're running out of people to give those to. Like, I remember at first, it was almost every hour there was a new person getting one. I'm sure it's due, in fact, to more people coming back, obviously, but I just think they're literally running out of professional basketball players to give contracts to. I saw Charlie Brown got signed by someone the other day. Did you see that?
I did see that. I have no idea what this guy looks like, but I honestly don't want to know what this guy looks like.
No, I'm just picturing him as Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
The fumbling, mumbling cartoon character who just can't get anything going right.
It just shows up in that yellow t-shirt with the fucking black zigzag.
Yeah, the one zigzag hair on his head. I don't know how they'd incorporate, because the classic joke was he'd go to kick the football and Lucy would pull it out from him. Just a dick move, by the way, like for no reason. But a lot of that's kind of on Charlie too. Like, you know it's coming. You've been here on old Charlie Hustle. Were they like love? Were they like, was he like have a crush on Lucy?
That I'm not sure about.
Yeah. Assume it's some sort of simp situation. Always going back, trying to get his kicks off.
I'd love to find out.
I bet we could. Well, actually, never mind. He's busy playing pro basketball. When that 10-day expires, we could probably get him on and just cross our fingers as the Charlie Brown we're thinking of and not the pro basketball player. Anyway,
we should also try to get We should get D
Who's he?
Virgin.
Is he in the league?
He's in A League, the NFL.
NFL? Let's see.
But
Great name. I wish he was better.
like you said,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, NBA is running out of players to sign, so they might as well grab that guy too.
He was a Patriot?
I didn't know that.
The only, if you Google him, I see, hold on, D Virgin. Let's go footballreference.com. Oh, brother. Oh, well, wait, that's this year. So he's only rostered on Detroit and Chicago in the regular season stats. So he must have joined us for a practice squad or a summer situation. There's pictures of him in a Patriots uniform playing football.
Joined us for exactly like one series in a scrimmage and was promptly kicked off the team.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Be like, son, I don't think this is cut out for you. You don't have the chops for this.
Get the hell out of here.
Get this virgin off my field. No, not that one. The Virgin? Yes, D Virgin. Get him off my field. Javarius Triquiz D Virgin. Very cool.
Damn, so many fucking cool names.
I know, and like rarely they're good players, which is kind of a bummer. Who do you think is like the best name of like a Hall of Famer? Not a nickname, like just coolest name in any sport. Unique name.
Giannis is pretty cool.
Giannis is a cool name. Anthony Hardaway is a cool name.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe's a cool name.
Yep.
Because like in the grand scheme of things, like Michael Jordan's a very bland name. Remember in Last Dance when they first they started about talk about the recruiting process, how he used to go by Mike Jordan. High school. That's a huge marketing move. Like just simply switching to Michael, I think really changed it up for him. I don't know whose idea that was, but
could you ever picture someone calling him Mikey too?
No, little Mikey, like is a baby.
I don't know. All of the greats
Jordan
have basic names.
But I actually decided this too. There's really not any great player. I'm sure there's one I'm not thinking of, but just like a super basic name, like John Smith or David Stevens.
Ben Johnson.
Imagine like the greatest football player of all time, just named like Mike Smith. Yeah, Ben Johnson. I was gonna say John Collins. That's kind of like a pretty bland name, but John Collins is actually pretty cool. So,
yeah, that is a pretty basic name.
Like if I heard I don't know, like if I heard like a John Collins was joining our team, like a work office team, I would not expect the Atlanta Hawks John Collins. I would expect like a 45-year-old slobby like white guy in like a shirt and tie.
Yeah, I would expect an accountant.
Yeah. So, yeah, John Collins is probably the closest one. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, where did you want to start? Did you want to, well, I guess we should introduce, we haven't really done I guess it's like a bonus episode. We haven't had a Thursday night edition in a while, but we got some playoff football coming up. I know you guys touched on it a little bit last week, but you mostly just kind of reminisced on Cowboys memory lane, which was funny hearing about some of like the old Cowboys quarterbacks I forgot about, which to everyone on the show's point, all did stink big time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thinking back on those names, Drew Bledsoe had to be up there for one of the more comparable arms.
I didn't realize that Quincy Carter had a good season.
I didn't realize he had off-field issues.
Yeah, I believe he was into recreational drugs, unfortunately. That's the nasal variety.
That's discerning. I was hoping you were going to say like recreational, like, I don't know,
vehicles,
foosball or something, or even that would be better. Like just one of those 4-in-1 recreational, like man cave bar game sets. But cocaine is not what I was thinking you were going to say. I also forgot, I thought this was interesting. You were talking about how Dak came to be. I forgot Dak, and this is interesting. I wanted to bring this up with, I guess, just you since the other guys aren't on. So Romo got hurt, I remember, but I forgot Kellen Moore was the backup that year. and then he got hurt, which gave Dak the start. So now Dak took Kellen Moore's job, and now Kellen Moore is now Dak's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later. Not a very big time like window in between.
No, and I feel like that was as best as that could have worked out for him, honestly. Because that guy wasn't fucking going anywhere.
No, he stunk. And they did get lucky with Dak, who's good. But that is kind of strange. That would be like, I was going to say Drew Bledsoe coming back and just being the offensive coordinator. But they seem to have a pretty good relationship. I don't know what the relationship between Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott was like that year. I've never met either of them in person.
Who else played quarterback when because I know this wasn't the only season that Dak's been hurt, right? So I could have Brandon
No, he had
Weeden.
his cramp last year. Brandon Weeden, I think, was maybe in between. Dalton played the year he had his leg injury, right? Andy Dalton.
That sounds right.
A couple years ago. Yeah, Brandon Weeden was in the mix for a little bit. I don't know if you guys said this. I think wasn't Vinny Testaverde a Cowboys quarterback at one point?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, Dak's been, I think, relatively healthy, relatively reliable. Actually, there's a Cooper Rush. Is that his name? There's a fire name alert in the Dallas Cowboys quarterback room.
Yeah. He's the current backup?
Riley Cooper. Yeah, I think so. He's on the depth chart somewhere.
Yeah, it's a pretty good name.
That's an incredible name, but again, stinky ass, not a good player. So it's like a waste.
I think Wayne Gretzky is a pretty good name now I think about
Fire
it.
name alert. Yeah.
Mostly because of the Gretzky part, but pretty good.
Not a big Wayne fan.
Actually, Wayne's
Wayne
not
Jordan.
even, I don't know any Waynes in real life, so that's not a bad name overall.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky is up there.
I think just Barry Bonds is perfect for a baseball player.
Yeah, if you look at the top 5 in each sport, I think having a strong name helps put them there because it gives you a reason to talk about them more. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people really mention this in LeBron versus MJ debate. Like Michael Jordan was good enough to overcome having a not cool name. And MJ's cool. Jordan, I guess, is cool, but at the time it wasn't. Like LeBron James is a pretty strong name. Mm-hmm. LeBron, at least. James is pretty average. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. And then if you look at baseball, Barry Bonds. Babe Ruth is up there. Mickey Mantle's a fire name, especially for the time he played in, like the 50s. I don't think that guy paid for a drink in town anywhere he went. Wayne Gretzky. Mario
Cy Young.
Cool name.
I've never met a Cy in my life.
Never.
And I don't think I ever, I can't even think of anyone else named CY. And that name,
I assume that's a nickname.
Badass.
It has to be a nickname. But again, people were named like Buck Weaver, like back in like the 1900s.
It's probably short for it's probably short for like Chucky.
Charlie. Denton Drew Cy Young.
I didn't see that one coming.
A fire middle name.
What was the middle name again?
Looking guy. What was I just gonna say? Oh, Tiger Woods.
Oh, yes.
His middle name is True. Sorry, I cut out for a little bit. Cy Young's middle name is True. Tiger Woods is another obvious one. Like the greatest player in his sport happens to have a very cool name. And it's not like Eldrick is a shitty name either. Eldrick Woods would have been just as fine.
Yeah.
You know? And even like Irvin Johnson is a strong name.
Mm-hmm.
Magic is just obviously stronger. No, what's a tough one is Larry Bird's a tough one. Larry's a tough name to get any respect, especially if you look like Larry Bird playing in the NBA.
Yeah. And Larry is such a good name for an actual bird. I feel like I could easily see someone with a pet.
Yeah.
A pet bird before the existence of Larry Bird.
Yep.
Naming their bird Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're about 20 minutes. Let's get into the show. So it is Wildcard weekend coming up. I don't want to go through like each matchup and do like a deep dive into each thing. I definitely don't want to give my predictions on the Patriots game because you know how that usually goes.
You don't want to talk about the spread in Cardinals Rams?
What is the spread in Cardinals Rams? I think I think that's going to be a really good game. I think, I don't know. It starts with maybe the most electric game of the weekend. Vegas Raiders at Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, God.
Bengals -5.5. I still can't believe the Raiders are in the playoffs. Like, after all the shit like they went through this season. I'm not saying that like having sympathy for them. I mean, like all like the shit that happened with that franchise this season. I totally didn't even realize like they were just not only a competent football team, but like a playoff football team.
I would say right after the Steelers, the Raiders are the team that I least care about seeing in the playoffs that I wish we could sub out for, I don't know,
the Chargers. Yeah, exactly.
And then I don't even know who you'd put in place of the like maybe the Ravens.
If Lamar's healthy, I'd like to see the Ravens over the Raiders. Who else didn't make it? Colts are unserious. They have no business getting there after week 18.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Miami.
Yeah.
Cleveland, no. Indy, no. Who else is out west? Denver, no. Yeah, I guess it's probably Miami or whoever you said, Baltimore. I think, dude, also, so I'm going on ESPN's website, and like next to each game, they have, where'd it go? They have like the spread, over, under, whatever, but then they have like their three, I guess, like best offensive players next to each team on the side. Like Jamar Chase had a big boy year. Like we talked about rookie of the year going back. I assume you would like Jamar Chase has to win rookie of the year at this point, right?
Yeah.
I think Matt kind of puked on himself with that one. 81 catches, 1,455 yards, and 13 touchdowns. That's scary hours. And then the Patriots game. So I had Stephon Diggs in fantasy this year, and I also realized this too. It's an extra game this year, so maybe these numbers are somewhat inflated. We'll talk about inflation later. But Stephon Diggs' numbers, he still had a casual 103 catches, over 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So he's still good. Who do you think wins Bengals Raiders?
I think and I hope it's the Bengals.
I can see a blowout. I would love that. I really like that team. I think they're a fun team. It's kind of like we were saying earlier. Like I felt a lot of people, maybe it's just Boston radio, so who knows what that means, but you know, like trying to make it so we go to Cincinnati in round one. I didn't want any part of that. I'd much rather go to Buffalo. I'm much confident going to Buffalo where we have one already and going to Cincinnati and seeing some of those guys. They have some scary playmakers.
Yep.
Scary hours.
TJ Ushmanzada.
Yep. Him
Still
and
running
Ocho
wild.
is not something you want to see in a twins right formation. I'll tell you that right now, especially if Carson Palmer gets cooking mid third quarter.
Jerome Simpson just backflipping over JC Jackson.
For a walk-off touchdown. We could buy tickets to the Bills game right now for $25.
Someone randomly texted me that. If it wasn't fucking 10 hours away and also the middle of January.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big one. But for an away game, it's not the farthest place they could go. It is feasible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like nothing I want to be a part of. I can't imagine where that seat is. Like some of the people I'd be surrounded by with that ticket. So
it's just a dildo on either side of you.
Damian Harris, 15 touchdowns. Gee whiz. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to put it on the record for what I think about Bills Patriots because it always goes wrong. So I'll blow out. They'll win by like 40 to 50. Yeah.
I think I'm looking at the same thing as you.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the top three offensive players.
Yeah.
I would not have pegged Jacoby Myers. I would not have pegged him, first of all. I also wouldn't have pegged him for having 83 catches and 866 yards.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I think he's probably their best receiver, most reliable receiver at this point.
Yeah, that is. I didn't think that a Pats receiver Well, I guess Hunter
He'd be
Henry, but
reliable.
I didn't think anyone
Yeah.
would be that close to 1,000 yards on the Pats.
Yeah, Hunter Henry, if you remember, it kind of took him a little bit to get. I feel like he didn't really get going until like week 3 or 4, and then during that win streak, put together some good games. Myers has been pretty consistent. Kill Harry, obviously, don't need to waste my time on. Aguilar
Also
got
consistent.
hurt. Yeah, Bourne's good, but I think he's more just like big plays. Myers has been pretty consistent. Janu Smith has been irrelevant. I actually kind of forgot he was on the team. And then the running backs have been good. I really wish we still had James White. That would make this team a little fun. White, Stevenson, and Harris would be kind of fun to kind of sprinkle in there here and there, see what they can do with them.
I'm surprised
that means
that
less
don't...
Brandon Bolden touches, though. So maybe not. Perennial Pro Bowler.
Yeah, somehow he's working this year. Speaking of which, I don't know. I can't believe that they don't throw to their existing running backs much at all. I know that Bolden gets passes, like screen passes, but like none at all to Stevenson or Harris, who clearly could break off a big play.
And it's weird too because it's not like they're not doing that because Mac's throwing it 50 yards downfield every pass. I genuinely don't know why they aren't doing that more often.
And that's like the simplest route to run too. So it's not like they wouldn't be able to figure out the play.
You just have to like get out of your stance and run a few yards to right or left.
Yeah,
and that usually works
back
great.
to the quarterback.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're saving it for the playoffs. If they just
we're definitely seeing some trick plays.
I can't even imagine the type of shit because it's going to be bad weather, cold, windy. We're going to see something on like 2nd and 7 at their own 36 to get net 8 yards to make it 3rd and short.
That's got to be one of the better like developments from the past 2 seasons. I think obviously it's been much better this year, but I'm gonna be so pissed. Yeah, if they pull out a flea flicker on 3rd down just to get to a better like punt situation on 4th.
Yep, like they try to reenact that classic double pass against the Ravens, like the Edelman to Amendola one, and it's just on like 2nd and 9 in the 2nd quarter at their own 42-yard line, and it gets like net plus 11 yards for 1st down. Yeah, they'll do something. I kind of
that shouldn't even be possible. Like the ball should at least be traveling, I don't know, 35 yards in the air.
Well, it's interesting because it's like you can tell that's like a Patriots thing. Like they're going to try and incorporate it into their playbook every year, no matter what. Just the talent has drastically diminished over the past like 4 years. So understandably, those plays look worse and worse. I really can't imagine what they could do. I think Myers can throw. So maybe it's like a throwback to, I can picture like a throwback to Jones and him just getting like Brian Dawkins-esque clocked crossing like the 30-yard line. Other than that, I really don't see. Maybe you can incorporate Janu Smith. I don't know. I'd love to see like a trick play to just literally free up N'Keal Harry, like a 10-man screen to get him wide open and see him just eat a ball off of his face mask. Like turn over on downs. Oh boy, I hope he doesn't play tomorrow. He's not. I don't know if he's on a. I don't know if it's like baseball if you have to like reduce your playoff rosters, but if even if they don't, I'd be okay with him as a healthy scratch. You can't put him in a game. I hope they have him return punts. That'd be sick. Tomorrow would be the night to do it. Give him one more crack at it. That was the Buffalo game, right? When he, for some odd reason, decided to return a punt. Well, he didn't return it. He tried to catch a punt. It's almost like some of those games with Cam last year. It's like you have to dig so deep into like what's the worst thing that could possibly happen, and then that worst thing actually happens with N'Keal Harry and Cam Newton. Because like speaking of the Bills, I remember that play last year against the Bills when they were driving, I think to either tie or win the game. I think they were down 3 in like their red zone, and literally the only thing they couldn't do was turn it over, and Cam fumbled it like at the 10-yard line. It's like you can't throw because you can't risk interception, so that's fine. You just got to run it out so we can kick a field goal. Like the worst thing that could happen is a quarterback fumble, And that's exactly what happened. And then I think they played them again and just lost by a comfortable 35. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not putting my prediction on the air for the Patriots game. You can if you want, but I'm not going to do that because it never works well for me. The last prediction I made on the air was the Red Sox not going back to Houston, and they lost 3 in a row. And got swept out of the ALCS. So you can touch this one if you want.
I'll make it quick. I think the Bills are going to win.
Oh, God. All right.
And this way we're safe. Hopefully I just jinx it.
True. Same. I think they kill him. I think Josh Allen throws for 600 yards.
I'm trying to think because, like, obviously the weather's it's not going to be as bad as last game, but it's going to be bad. But I think if the Bills win, I think it'd be like, I'm going to say 28-17. Mac will make it somewhat competitive towards the end-ish.
That's a lot of points. 28. They're not going to give up 28 points to the Bills. No chance. Not in cold weather. Not my New England Patriots. So, yeah, 27-7. That spread is tricky. Buffalo -4 at home.
Wow.
That's a sneaky one. I don't know. Oh, by the way, tickets just went up to $27.
Ah, you mother.
Yeah.
God.
So I didn't know we were streaming this live. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, that's that. Let's move to Sunday. We got Eagles Bucks. That sounds like a stinker to me. I don't need to see Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts squaring off in Tampa Bay. Bucks -8.5. That seems kind of high. Disrespectful for a playoff game. So I'll say Bucks 35, Eagles 12.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same side, and I'm still like, I feel like there's not too many cities or teams that I hate, but Philadelphia is one of them.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm still not over that Super Bowl. So I hope he fucking crushes them.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna change my answer. Bucks 57, Eagles 3. Because he's gonna play defense too.
He's gonna catch punts.
Yeah, I really hope he wins MVP. That would be just bonkers. Like, if Tom Brady wins MVP, I don't care if he wins a Super Bowl. I don't care if he wins a playoff game. If he wins MVP this year, like, not being sarcastic, that like shifts perception of like time and age, like going forward. Like, it literally changes everything we've known. Because 10 years ago, playing in your 40s was unheard of. And now, not only playing in your 40s, but being voted the most valuable player at your company at age 44 is interesting. Because unless he wants to retire on top, similar to LeBron, like, he could play, if he's okay with being average, he could play for another 5 years. Because I don't think, close your ears, Max Kellerman, like, he's not just gonna have a drastic drop to like going from MVP to unemployable within the next 5 years. That's impossible.
Yeah, you're not gonna believe this, but I've heard people saying it's impressive.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that.
That's why I said you're not gonna believe this.
Yeah, which I don't. But that is it's a news story. So let's each take Bucks comfortably. Over under on any fans at Raymond James Stadium collapsing onto Jalen Hurts leaving the game. Have you seen that actual video?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, that could have been really bad.
They're lucky that was only.
It was bad.
What would you say?
It could have been really bad. What would I say? What?
In terms of like how high that was off the ground.
Oh, I don't know. Like a decent drop. It's like coming out of a tunnel. But plus, not only how high it was, like the momentum of all those people pushing forward, plus the unexpectancy of it.
Yeah.
That'd be scary as hell. What a terrible stadium.
And then those people just immediately going to take selfies with him.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not much else to do. 4:30 on Sunday. This is a game. That Niners-Cowboys game is a game. Dallas at home -3, so that's a pick 'em. That's a game. That has potential for some fire uniform clashing. I know you guys talked about that too. I hope the Niners wear those older ones.
Those are so good.
With like the block letter. Those are so clean. I don't know how to say this, but it's like those Niners uniforms, that's the whitest white like in the league. Like it's just the cleanest, crispest jersey. Cleanest white, cleanest red, cleanest gold.
Yeah.
And those helmets, like those helmets done right are sick. And then I think it was like Debo or someone wears like a legit gold visor. It's like game over. He's actually creeping up there. We talk about N'Keal Harry's draft class a lot. I think it might be Debo at this point. I think he might have leapfrogged DK. I feel like DK Metcalf's had kind of a quiet year now. Maybe it's because the team blows.
Big time.
Yeah, Debo's something else. Something else. And I don't know if those boys are going to have an answer. You know Zeke ran for 1,000 yards this year?
I would have guessed like 400 tops.
He ran for 1,002 yards. That seems like a week 18 asterisk type of stat or a 17 game.
So I wonder what Tony Pollard ran for.
I don't know. I'd look it up, but I feel like it. It's $135 to get into Jerry World to compare to Orchard Park Stadium, whatever the hell that place is called now. Old Orchard Beach Stadium. And this is the one I wanted to get to.
Raymond Carruth Stadium.
Ray Ramon Arena. Ray Barone Sanitation Dome.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Really quick.
Sure.
Ray Carruth. Was he a murderer? I just know that name
Sounds
is like
familiar.
very
Ray
famous.
Carruth. Let's look at the time. We're probably not going to get to that other segment I wanted to touch on, but that's fine. We can do it next week. Ray Carruth is a football player. Hold on. I see where you're coming from. Shout out our friend Wody. He's an old Carolina Panther. Speaking of fire names, fire name and fire spelling. His name is Ray, R-A-E. I think that's how the Ray from Star Wars spells it. So good for him. Ray Theodis Carruth is an American former football wide receiver. Hold on. Is an American former football wide receiver and convicted felon. After playing college football at Colorado, Carruth was drafted in the first round in 97. Hold on. Let me pull up the wiki real quick and get to personal life.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'm not going to read this, but here. So here's the first paragraph of personal life. Everything. Hold on here. Let me see if we can focus it. There we go. Everything here and below is crimes.
Oh, Jesus.
And it scrolls for a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs.
Now thinking about it, I do think one of them was particularly bad, and I'm not joking.
Ooh, it is.
So yeah, the stadium is for sure not named after him.
In November of 1999, near Carruth's home, Sharika Adams, a real estate agent he had been only casually dating, was shot 4 times using a .357 caliber revolver. A nightclub manager and an associate of Carruth reported this. Carruth then drove away. Adams was 8 months pregnant with Carruth's child at the time. Yikes.
Okay. Yep.
Not a great guy. Wow, that's terrible. I've never heard of this. Never heard of this guy. Quite frankly,
I thought it was bad. That's worse than I thought. So
yeah, that's tough.
All right.
Let's move past Ray Carruth. Certified bad guy. Rest in piss. I don't know. Whatever he's up to now. Speaking of that, well, not really. But let's transition to Steelers Chiefs. The game at 8:15. Yeah, KC minus 12.5. Like, this game doesn't have to happen.
No.
Also, like, just give KC the 1 seed. Like, the Titans aren't the 1 seed. The Chiefs are.
Correct.
What do you actually, it is going to be at Tennessee. So I'm thinking Chiefs at Tennessee might be interesting if that's what it comes down to. The spread might only be like Chiefs minus 10 as opposed to minus 20. But I think Derrick Henry's playing too. So I don't know. We'll see. But Chiefs Steelers, I want to see. The only reason I am kind of glad the Steelers made it is we might get one last like Big Ben-esque puke performance that will give us some memes and like funny clips to like joke about.
It could get ugly.
I hope so. Oh boy. I hope they just send the house at this guy and just be like, be on, like, just get on with your life. Get out of here. What a not great person playing terrible football.
Oh my God. I think I tweeted this. I feel like he's worse than that last year of Peyton Manning, where Peyton was bad. Like he was carried by the defense and he was throwing ducks all over the place, but at least he was never big or mobile. So it doesn't seem as like crazy for him to just like be getting sacked and shit on every other play. Ben can't throw and is also, just getting like fucking plowed into the ground half the time.
Yeah, he also is way more like Twitter clip, like funny plays. Like those plays when it looks like he just slips on his face and like flicks the ball out at the last second, throwing to I don't know who. So the fact that team got to the playoffs is crazy. And it's the Chargers' fault. Like it didn't have to happen. They had the tie. Like there's no one who would rather watch Ben Roethlisberger Sunday night than the Chargers. Like if it was the same matchup, like Chargers at Chiefs is a great game. I would definitely look forward to watching that. Mahomes and Herbert. Even if it was the other way around. I don't know how it would have broken down. Even if it was you flip-flop them with the Raiders. Chargers Bengals is sick too. That'd be an awesome game. So thanks, Ben. I don't know. We'll see. I hate to say it. They'll probably just win the Super Bowl. It's going to be like that last year of Ray Lewis, like when they randomly won the Super Bowl when the fucking lights went out at halftime.
Did you see the press conference that Ben had this week?
Yeah, very, very strange.
And it was like, dude, you can't play the us against the world mentality when you literally fucking suck
and stink. Yeah, I agree. Like it's different. It reminded me of, and I tried to find it and tweet it. I just didn't feel like it. Remember, I think it was after a Chiefs loss. It was after a bad Patriots loss when Brady was just like, yeah, like we suck. So I guess we'll just like get on with it and like move on. You know what I'm talking about? Something like that.
Everybody thinks we suck.
Everyone thinks we suck. So like, what's the point? I think that's what Ben was trying to do.
Right.
But it's like, no, you do suck. Like this is not even on the same like solar system. Like I get, and the way he delivered it was different too. Like he delivered it like he was being genuine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we suck. Let's just try to have some fun out there.
Yeah, we might as well go out there and just, give it our best.
I mean, what else do we have to do on a Sunday night? Yeah. So yeah, that should be bad. And then Monday is that Cardinals-Rams game, which I think is going to be good. It actually goes back to before the season. We're talking about that NFC West being the best conference in the league, which 3 playoff teams. Can't really argue that.
Yep. And
it'd be a fun game. I'd love to see the Cardinals win that game. I could go for more Kyler as opposed to more Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Even when the Rams are good, I don't find them particularly that entertaining.
No.
I'd rather watch
Aaron
Kyler,
Donald's
like
cool.
Said.
Besides that, they could go one of two ways with their jerseys. They could wear cool jerseys or wear those stupid ass ones they have now. Kind of a similar coaches on each side. Cliff King, another fire name, Cliff Kingsbury and Sean McVay, like young boy wonder type of coaches.
Yep.
They kind of look like the same person, like young enough to be cool, but still old enough to be like not as cool as they think they are. Is how I would put it.
Yeah. I can't imagine Sean McVay is much older than us, right?
Nah, he's like in his mid-30s. I assume I remember watching Cliff Kingsbury play football like not too long ago. Hold on. Would you assume Cliff Kingsbury is younger than Sean McVay? Or no?
For some reason, he strikes me as older.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury is 42. Sean McVay, I'm going to say is 37. 35. That's crazy. So he was coaching in the Super Bowl at our age, like 32, 33.
God damn.
That's wacky. Have you seen those videos of him like just recalling plays in his head? Like on like the sideline? That is pretty strange. Like something's up with that. That's fucked up. Like that's crazy.
Wait a minute. Damn, think about how young McDaniels was when he started with the Pats, because he's still pretty young now.
Yeah. Or even when he was a head coach.
Oh, right.
I think I remember that was the thing. He was the youngest head coach at the time. So he's hold on, let's see here. He is son of a bitch. Hold on. What is he, like maybe 40?
I would say early 40s.
That's what you would say. Let's see what the internet says.
We'll see what factual information says.
Oh, he's 45. Jeez,
Okay.
so he is pretty old. But he's 45, and he came on the Patriots as offensive coordinator in 2005. So 15, 30. He was like 30. He was a Denver Broncos coach in 11 years ago. Yes, he was like 33, 34. So pretty similar to McVay.
Wait,
but Josh McDaniels was a bad coach. McVay's, I think, pretty good.
That's crazy that McDaniels and Brady are the same age.
Yep, that's pretty strange. Well, it's kind of like Kellen Moore. Well, no, never mind. Kellen Moore's way older than Dak Prescott. It is weird, like having your coach be any sort of like a peer, as opposed to Bill Belichick, who's like 70, and he's just always been older than his players. Yeah, I think the Cardinals can win that game. Actually, I don't know. I don't trust either of those teams in the playoffs. So whoever wins it will probably just lose the next week.
Oh yeah.
The only team I'm really confident about winning is Cincy and Tampa. So, congratulations, Vegas Raiders and Philadelphia Eagles. You're going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm going to watch that Bucs game. I'd like to see Tom Cook. I don't know who he's throwing to. You think AB is going to play after his album tour or whatever the hell he's doing? That was a weird video. Like, what a weird collection of people. That one with like him, Julia Fox, Madonna, Antonio Brown, and Floyd Mayweather.
The whole thing was strange. I didn't know what the hell Madonna was doing because
why not?
AB and Floyd were talking.
Yep.
Kanye and Julia Fox were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna was just like, I don't know, dancing around in the middle of the couch.
Trashy old lady.
I don't even think she knew like where she was or that she was around those people.
No, that's what happens when you choose trashy living over classy living, as we've talked about on this show. Yeah, we can get going. Like I said, there's some other stuff we could have got into, but we kind of got derailed talking about that murderer. And what were we talking about at the beginning of the show? I already forget.
I think we were talking about the Pats, weren't we?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Brandon Bolden's career highlights. But should be a good wild card weekend. We'll see how it goes. Check out our friends at Cold River Vodka. Subscribe to the show. Follow the show. Check out the merch links if you're interested. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. You included, pal.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch some football.
All right. See you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.